fling your breast. This is our Tanti says, 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 fling your breast. This is our Tanti says. Hey. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Givin Trouble Show. My name is Lyrics, aka Lewis Martin Leasing, and I am here today to entertain you, to lime a little bit. You know, I am a feminist comedian from Fem Com TT. That's who we do this show every Thursday at 5 p.m. And it's great to be here. It's great to see you guys. I see we have a viewer on. I know a few more are going to join. We've been building up a really fun audience over the past few. And as you can see, I have my daughter, Iris, lurking in the background, even though I told her to. She said she's not even talking. Wonderful. Yes, that is how the stay at home TV shows does run on the internet. All right, guys. Here at Fem Com TT, we want you to know that we stand against gender-based violence and we are for LGBTQI rights. Okay, so that's my politics for today. Let's see what's going on in the world, guys. Crazy things are going on. Apparently, it is no longer people killing people or shooting people. It is guns. Guns are shooting people because I wake up Sunday morning or Monday morning, the police commissioner accidentally shoots himself in the leg. And I say, okay, that's weird. Then boom, I wake up yesterday morning and the pharmacy board president has also shot himself in the leg. So, you know, these are the people who are the most quote unquote responsible, and they have, you know, licenses and they are trained with these weapons, and yet still they are shooting themselves in the leg. So I don't know how I feel about general gun licenses going out and every Tom, Dick and Harry being able to access a gun. That is a little problematic for me in consideration of these events. That's all I have to say about that. Now, I'm a mom, and I know a lot of moms are out there. Hola, Sean. Welcome to the show. Nice to have you there. I need you extra today, Sean. I need you extra today because Lisa is not with me today. She wasn't able to make the show today, so I'm all by myself, and I need the love. Okay, I need the love. Plus, my youngest child has determined to terrorize me and has refused to leave, even though I have begged. Okay. However, good news. We have a great guest on the show today. She is a teacher. Her name is Janelle Archer Chan. She is a wonderful lady, and it feels weird calling her a lady because just the other day we was girls together, like Lyman and calling each other girls and being girls. You understand? But this is how it is now. We are big old ladies, right? So I'll be talking to Janelle today about getting back to school, guys. Back to school. How do y'all feel about getting back to school? Sean is popping in here. He said if WASA was more reliable, we could use super soakers instead of firearms. Listen, anything instead of firearms is what I'm saying, right? Jeez. So kids are getting vaccinated. Children are getting vaccinated left, right, and center. According to the newspapers and according to the PR, it's going very good. I'm seeing a lot of things in the press. Steady demand for Pfizer shots at the heliports. The ministers have gone and vaccinated their children. So they're basically showing, you know, we doing it, so you should do it too. It is safe because, you know, there is a lot of misinformation, disinformation. It is very confusing. It's very hard to know what to do, what to believe. But each of us, you know, we have to think examine, decide who we trust, and make that decision for ourselves. So these ministers have said they are vaccinating their children. Somebody had something to say about that, saying that they're using the children as guinea pigs. All of this is going on. So it's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. We have Pfizer vaccine here now going on for quite a while. And, you know, the ministry seems to think, oh, yes, kids are coming in, they're getting vaccinated. So what does this mean for me, for you, for school opening in September, as our official rep Stan was saying, the mothers need a break, right? Some of us, we send our kids to school and that's the only time we get. Okay. Sean is piping in nicely here. Sean is doing a good job. It's a good thing I pay you $0.00. We need kids back in school. As awesome as homeschooling can be, not all families are equipped for this. Plus, the social skills along with the book learning. So we need children back in school. So without any further ado, as people who are not so good at communication say, right? I've heard that so many times, guys. It's without any further ado, just to show you that I as a woman who knows what to say now. But you know what we say? Adieu, okay? And yes, Iris is playing adieu to me and you behind my back here right now. All right, so we're gonna bring in our guest for today. She's been waiting very patiently while I was talking really fast for the past few minutes, for no reason apparently, but this is interesting. And so we're gonna bring her in now, my friend and yours, Janelle Archer Chan. Got your checking teeth.
Yeah, right. Hi guys.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Hi.
She's my guest host today, along with me.
You better do a good job.
So Janelle, how are you?
I am well. I'm feeling very relaxed right now. My daughter had a little graduation today. She did her speech. We could start practicing the stripping thing. It wasn't stripping, but it was a lot of work. So I'm just relieved, and I'm going to really now start my starfishing for the rest of the vacation. Well, a few weeks.
What is starfishing? Could you explain?
Starfishing. Starfishing. I think I would like to claim this too. But starfishing is the absence of movement in a very comfortable position with all your appendages, just
spread out.
Yeah.
So one is in the shape of a starfish. I see. Starfishing.
Yeah.
I think that sounds like my kind of activity.
Shut it all off.
Okay, so your opportunities for starfishing are going to be reduced severely in the future because you are a full-time teacher in secondary school, and school is reopening in September. This is the words that I have heard.
Yeah.
Right.
So school reopened in September, in, out, around, it doesn't matter. School starts in September. So
true.
No, we have to be ready either way.
How have the past year or so, how has that been teaching online? How have you found that? Have there been any particular challenges?
Well, the initial lockdown, when everything went crazy, I could not catch myself because my daughter was in preschool, and this is her fundamental years. And I had to teach at the same time. So we didn't quite get that balance yet. So I opted out. I was like, I cannot even function because she's home all day. She was 3 at the time, and it was just me and her. Daddy's off to work. So the only time I can really do anything is when Daddy's home. So that was like a craziness. And then when I started to put things in place, and sometimes I would have mommy come in on a Thursday. I mean, it's COVID, but we had to do what we had to do, So it was kind of scary.
Yeah, it sounds like you still had, even though it was tough, you sound like you had a lot of support system.
I did. If I didn't have my mother, girl, if I didn't have my mother, and sometimes Auntie Fiona, the housekeeper, would come in, and sometimes she would be holding down the fort literally while I'm in class. Thank God I could actually, have a housekeeper to help out, because is insanity.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us of our age and a little younger and a little older, we are what they call the sandwich generation, right? And unfortunately, that is not a sex thing because that would be fun. But the sandwich generation, we are currently the ones who have elderly parents that
Mm-hmm.
we are taken care
Kind of,
of
yeah.
in some way, shape, or form,
Mm-hmm.
right? As well as young and small children.
Yeah.
So they're kind of in between two sets of caregiving,
Yeah.
and I know that could be very, very stressful personally. I was in that
And I only
situation.
have one. I have one child to take care of, and I
Yeah.
have like one parent that's close by that I had to, keep an eye out for. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that's I could say I'm totally blessed in that regard because there are people with multiples on both sides of the spectrum, that still have a job and still have to teach from home and still have to prepare lessons and whatnot. So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
But I think there's one question that I wanted to ask you that I think everybody is wondering about right now,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of getting back to school.
Yeah.
Who is the most lazy? Because is it parents who are lazy? I've heard teachers say that parents lazy, they don't want to help their children with their schoolwork. I've heard parents say the teacher lazy, the teacher don't want to teach the children and them. And I've heard both parents and teachers, mine in particular, I will admit, say that the children is the lazy one. Which one? Miss, tell us, who is the laziest?
I will say the teachers, but no, but only because
You heard it
lazy.
here, folks, on the Givin Trouble show.
Yes. And it's only because we're tired. We
Right.
get tired. We are
Mm-hmm.
exhausted. And I mean, in real, if I was supposed to really call out somebody, I would call out different persons dependent. It really depends on who it is. Because there are lots of parents who are not putting in their work at all. And it is
Right.
affecting the children who therefore seem as if they are not putting in the work. And then it frustrates the teachers, some of which are not putting in the work, most of which are dying, struggling to try to get the content. Because people think that we don't like, oh, okay, well, them teachers, I want to do nothing. No, but they're not realizing that every single result reflects directly on the teacher. No teacher wants
Yeah.
a bad result. No teacher wants a child to fail. No teacher wants a statistic to come up in the paper saying, well, this school got 0% passes. We don't want that because every year you just have to go through how much you get, what was your percentage, You just have to have every single year you have to sign a confidential that says how your performance was,
Right.
so this is something that this is not like what we think. Oh, them teachers and do it. Oh, really? Okay, well,
Well, I think there's a perception that some people in the society, me, have held that teachers are not held accountable. That
oh
you're
no,
a public servant
yeah,
and you could do nothing. You could come in, sign the book, bus out, and
no.
hold that work for years. No,
Well, you see, I am sure that happens. I
right,
can say that cannot happen in the institution in which I work. Big up Napringer College,
right,
right? That
right.
cannot happen. Part of the reason is because part of your job description is for the safety of the student. So if something happens while you were supposed to be in class and a student is hurt, you are directly responsible for that.
Oh,
You
for
could get
you.
suspended, you could get in serious trouble. So before we even teach, our job description is for the safety of children. So they say all the teachers, we just babysitters. No, really, we are to an extent,
Yeah.
there to make sure that your children are alive, and in the process, hopefully, that they get their subjects and pass and stuff like that.
So teachers are truly the mothers and fathers of the
Yeah,
outside world. When you leave your house as a child and go to school, your teacher directly liable for you, just like a parent liable for
yeah,
you.
and then we get attached to them, especially when we had face to face. Like right now, honestly, I love my children, but I don't know my children because most of the times I
Yeah.
come on, I only see a blank screen or a Pokemon face or something. I'll be like, they say it's like a seance. Oh, is anybody there? Could you all put on your camera? Can you hear me?
I I wouldn't lie. Me as a big lady, big lady who signed up for a course that I am excited to do will
Mm-hmm.
go on the course, leave my camera off, leave my speaker off,
And do your whole life
in my bed with my under my sheet dozing.
on your phone.
On Instagram.
Exactly. And you know how you just catch them when you call them out. You say, okay, I want somebody. Who should I call? This person. Could you answer the question, please? Long pause. And then, miss, what was the question again? I said, well, I just asked. And in my mind, I'm like, hey, little brother, you're on your phone somewhere. I didn't know where it was. Is that?
Yeah. God. But you have to get the text from your friends saying miss calling you.
Exactly. So he got that.
Then
he got
still have to go back and check, and he still have to ask you what's the question. We have a question in our comments, so I'll ask the question. How can we collectively help this generation of pandemic kids who basically have not physically, they've been behind the Pokemon facade of Zoom or whatever? How do you feel like there's going to be like a fallout from society from are these kids, what is the gap? Is there a catch up? What's the problem?
The first thing is we have to, in a real authentic way, assess each child and figure out what their gaps are. That's the first thing you need to do. We need to know what the gaps are. Some children may not have a big gap, some children may, and then we need to really focus on how can we help you. You didn't see people for a long time, so now you behaving like I don't know where, like you're born in a cave. And that might be that is a gap, And then you was playing what is this Fortnite whole time? You didn't learn nothing. So it really depends on each child. The same way you have to teach for each of the children in your classroom, or hopefully try to reach each of them. Yeah, you'll have to assess them individually, and wherever the gap is, then you'll have to bring in a school counselor, get some theory, some therapy, and that kind of thing. So it really depends. It really depends. Like for my child, she needs to play because she's a little uncoordinated and thing. You understand? And as a person who grew up with athletic family, I realize that she needs a little physical playtime.
A little gymnastics and things.
Yeah, gymnastics and tennis and running and swimming and things. Things are not allowed at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I remember one of the things, because I'm a homeschooling mom. Both my kids are homeschooled because fire burned the Babylon system. Basically. But essentially I was one of those parents, who just did not get the whole homework thing. Like I just thought this is tearing. I literally thought homework was tearing my family life apart. Because seriously, I felt like the emotional fallout from it in our household was extreme. It was unnecessary. It was we were all suffering. I was suffering. My husband was suffering, and my daughter was suffering. It was just three of us then. I didn't have no Iris then. Before I lose my mind and make another child like a muckling. Don't do it, eh? One, done, stop. All right.
Well, I don't know. We'll see.
She looking for the next one.
Long time. The family. As a matter of fact, after graduation, one of the teachers was like, okay, we'll see you when the boy comes. I'm like, miss.
No, but back to my story, right? So she would get the homework, right? And she'd come home with the homework, and the homework would take hours.
Yeah.
Like 3 and 4 hours of
in primary school.
I'm like, and I'm like, how much teachers you have? Like, why you have so much homework and all these different subjects? And it was just torture. And the way to do it was torture us as well. So we would be there till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the night. Me and my husband along there with the child. And the child, and we're like, you have to finish it. Like, torture.
I think I would like to remove the the Babylon that you are I would like to remove Babylon from the school system. That's not what, like, I don't give homework technically.
Right.
Unless you have a performance to do. That's your homework. I can't let
Right.
them rehearse for it in the class. But well, although you will have class time to do that as well. But I mean, just do your
Do you,
research or whatever. You know what I mean? But then it's
but
secondary school, so
do you feel that because you're a theater arts teacher that you might be exempt from some of the boringness, like
well,
like the
I
accounts
hope
teacher can't
so.
act like how you talking about and don't give no homework and
Well, I
performance.
do give. I mean, I shouldn't say I will, don't give homework, but you see, homework you're talking about, like I will not give homework every class. The only time you have homework to do is if you have like a research project, because the syllabus wants you to research something, or you have a
Sure.
performance to do, and you cannot rehearse for the performance in the half an hour that we have for class and be ready to perform. So you will have to
I understand.
perform. You don't have to go home and rehearse that. You understand? But
Yeah, I do.
but I don't think, I just think it's sometimes it's just a matter of teachers not being, seasoned enough. Some, they have a diploma in education program that a lot that the government has made mandatory now for all teachers
Yeah,
to become
yeah,
permanent. But before that, a lot of teachers coming out of, and before that, remember, you just have teachers in this system who come in straight out of A's. When you come out
yeah,
straight out of A's, you come in straight out of Gunterville. You was just being like hammered to get stuff done in a 2 year space. So you thinking that that's the way it has to work, you understand? So you don't have
yeah.
the
Pressure, pressure.
training, you
Yeah.
don't have the methodology, you don't have the, the practice to really get to a good place. So I would say probably that was what you encountered. I don't know.
Well,
But
I remember,
I did
I
have that.
remember. Yeah, I hear you. Well, you sound like a good teacher. You sound like one of those teachers who does inspire you
I would
and
like
carry
to
you
hope
to
so, because if I like fun
greatness.
in my class, then what is after teaching? What is the point?
For me, I think teaching is about love, and not in a soft, floppy, weak-willed love, but a strong-willed
A discipline now.
compassion and love. Because I know I don't love teaching, because the thought of going into a classroom or any place every day for more than like 2 months is very difficult for me to imagine and wrap my head around.
Well,
And
I think I love teaching. I love teaching.
yeah,
I love teaching theater because I used to teach literature right out of A levels when I was an inexperienced
right.
green teacher. So we're not talking about inexperienced teachers. I know what I'm talking
Level
about,
or C-circlet.
right? I teach theater, so that's kind of different in that I have to prepare them for like drama festival or go away or like, carry them and let them do a site-specific performance of riding horse by the mango tree or whatever. You understand? So in
Yeah.
that regard, I don't actually have to go to the same place every time. If I get bored, we could go out. So let's do mime. Let's go pick some grass and see how it falls. But let's mime it first to see if we get grabbed. You know that? Like just do something to the out the box. It is not as mundane. But to each his own. To each his own.
Sean says, I swear my 6-year-old niece has more homework than I did when I had business law. That's how I was feeling. I did not remember, all of this homework. I don't remember
it like that either.
to that extent, but I don't know, maybe I was just real bright, like brighter than my children, and it just was nothing for me, That's a possibility.
It might be, but I do remember getting homework, and while like the teacher waiting on somebody, I would try to kind of do it in school. So I don't know if that's like, but that's like in standard 3, standard 5. By that time we started to get homework and thing, and then for first form I didn't care about homework at all. So 5 but none. I was a slacker. I was a student.
I am curious, how do you feel about going back out to school in person? It's going to be in person or it's going to be online?
At this point, there has not been a definitive statement so far. I know when September comes, I have to start, even with my current Form 5, so going into Form 6, although they will not get their results till mid-September. Those who have chosen performing arts for Form 6, I have already told them when September comes, we are starting because I can't wait for results to come out and whatnot, because there's a pandemic still. Even if we online, even if we in person, it's still kind of iffy and we don't know what we could do and what we can't do. So we just had to, pump either way. So that's where we are right now. We're not sure which way it is, but teachers are sure that when September comes, we are starting. And I think we're
Right.
starting a little bit more sure, regardless of how it happens. Because now we've done it before. We've done it last year.
Right.
And we've done it before face to face. So either way, you know, we just
Ready.
roll.
Ready
I'm
like
ready,
Freddy.
but we will roll.
Any concerns if it is face to face? Do you have any concerns about going back into the classroom with pandemics and Delta and
Well,
Lambda and all of
my
these variants?
if we do go face to face, and even but remember again, because of theater, even when we were like online, I still had to go in and prepare my students for CSEC theater arts exams and performing arts presentation and stuff. So I still had to do face to face, and we would all mask up. Like I go in to pray with my students before the exams, and I took a selfie, and all of us with our mask and a selfie, which makes no sense because you can't really see who it is. But
I know, right? I have many.
but yeah,
Selfie.
so my fear was always, you can bring it home to your daughter because we're all vaccinated, but my daughter is 4, she can't be vaccinated. So I got vaccinated, so I was good. But now the Delta come on is like, so
vaccine nothing.
Because even though I'm protected, like my daughter is still unprotected to a certain degree. And of course, it shouldn't really affect her as much, but you never know. So I always say, like, I wish that if they had like a vaccine, like I tell people, if they had a vaccine right now and it's like, it is in her best interest, doctors told me, like, it's in the best interest to get vaccinated because this new zebra version is terrible or whatever it is. Because let's be real, it's going to continue.
No,
and she needs the vaccine. I'll be like, come here, child, let's go.
Yeah.
So that's my only fear, like my daughter and her safety. And yeah.
Do you think if
they're ready to go back?
Yeah, they're ready to go back. Bored? You're fed up starfishing. Like I can't imagine being fed up of starfishing. Just to be clear.
What you mean, like during vacation? I think people think when it's vacation time, we only get to relax, but we don't. That's why there's always the need to. Because even now, as I'm getting ready to go into the new term, I still have to build all my schemes of work, all my plans, start building my PowerPoint. Because let me tell you something. You see this online learning thing? I spend hours building PowerPoint presentations because they don't have access to the library. So you have to try to get all the information and put it in a way that they can get it. Like my husband would be, you're going like, I'll be up 3 o'clock in the morning building, like till 3 and take 2 hours and then go to class. You understand? Every time I have fun. Every time. So
well, I know I personally, me, Louris Martin Leasing, I too lazy to be a full-time teacher.
Basically, what I tell you, we're lazy now because we tired.
Because it's a lot. It sounds like it is a lot of work, and unfortunately, I don't think all teachers are rising to your standard. And I don't think all schools. I think your school sounds like a high functioning school.
It's a super high functioning school.
It sounds like a super high functioning school. And I don't know what percentile you're in, but I have a feeling you're in a very high percentile.
Yeah, we're the best. We is the best.
What I mean? You are the best. Top 5%, right?
Now we the top. It's fine, and that's okay. We accept that. So we have expectations that we need to fulfill. However, I will say that of all my teacher friends around me, we are all going through the exact same thing. And I'm talking about somebody who's going to a normal government school, somebody who's teaching in Belmont, we are all of us, maths, theater, it doesn't matter. We are all going through this exact same struggle. So in as much as I like to say, it have some teachers, those teachers really exist because they make the rest of us look bad. So I don't know who their friends are that are not saying you're on SHIT mess, but I can't say that, well, it have some teachers and leave it. I would have to say it's a very few. I think most teachers right now are really working extremely hard. And I'm not saying that because I'm biased. I know my friends are working extremely hard to get the material and out to the students, especially if you have a Form 4 exam class, Form 5, Form 6, working like dog. And we just suffer forward. Like, we're like, this boy is not doing what he's supposed to do. And we just quarrel to each other about children that we have no idea about. We don't know each other's children.
Yeah. Again, just as you say, each child will need subjective
Assessment, yeah.
perception and assessment in order to address any gaps that might have formed
Yeah.
because of the COVID gap, because of fatigue, trauma, tuning out,
Yeah.
all of those things
Inability, because everybody will living in different circumstances, who have a million people, have to go to school at the same time, you don't have enough, everybody have something. And we can't assume that we're all in the same. Everybody is in the same storm, but not everybody in the same boat.
Well, this is it.
On a yacht hunting, some people on a little dinghy with air going out, you understand? Some people on a piece of wood hanging out in the sea. So
because school is a microcosm of the society. So the same inequalities and challenges that people are facing out here is the same problems the kids are going to turn up with, in there. But I felt like our conversation was very hopeful. I felt a lot of your enthusiasm for getting back to school and getting back into action. So I know
this is my classroom, This is my classroom. If I have to do theater, in a little square. Yes, try, but
so my last question, you would prefer, what would be your preference come September? Would your preference be to continue online, or would your preference be to have in-person classes again, everybody back to school in person? What is your
everybody, I think all teachers' preference is for there to be no COVID and we all go back to school. However, realistically, my preference at this time is whatever is the safest bet within the context of where we're at. If online is safest, let's do that. If, the vaccines are out and the kids get a vaccine, and it's like, okay, let's go with Form 4, Form 5. I'm like, let's go with Form 4, Form 5. You understand? Like, I'm totally with whatever is the safest and most sensible for where we're at. And it's such a fluid situation. I can't say definitively, well, yeah, this one. Because it might change tomorrow like it did in March. That fateful.
Yeah, it's been crazy, It's been so crazy. And, I felt like, I'm a homeschooling mother. I'm above it. Like, I don't have to study.
You're ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but it affects me because all my kids' friends are affected. It affects all the after school
programs, extracurricular activities.
Yeah, because my kids still participate in dance and this and
I tried the online dance and thing. I tried karate. I was like, dance, karate, Spanish. But the next nothing. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it doesn't work. The kids don't connect.
And not in the context of me alone trying to teach and her. It was too much for me. So I was like,
no, you can't do it simultaneously. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Even device-wise, Well, we've come to the end of our time for today. Thank you. Thanks so much for being a part of it. I really appreciate it. And Sean, Sean, the third Fem Com.
How can we forget Sean?
Thanks so much for your time and your frankness and honesty this afternoon. I really wish I could go back in time and be a student again in your class. I feel like you're one of those teachers who just changes lives for the better. And you certainly enhanced our Givin Trouble episode today.
I would hope so. But
it was great. It was great. Audience, Sean, David, all the crew, thank you again for being on the show, for your comments.
Sean. I know he said your
likes and your eyeballs. It has been Lyrics and Janelle Archer Chan. And we'll see you again soon, Janelle. We definitely want to have you back. Bye, everyone.